Hey everybody, welcome back to Next Play Records. I'm Andy, and today's video is a new editions vinyl finds. It's probably been 3 weeks, or actually it's probably been a month or more since I've done one of these. I've been doing the vinyl tags, the jazz, the country, the blues. I've been doing some contests, so I haven't had your normal video to show off some of the new stuff in my collection in a while. So I'm going to get started with some of my non-jazz finds over the last month or so. And the first one, I did show this on Instagram, but the first one here is a Keith Whitley and Ricky Skaggs record on the Rebel label. It's an older record before they were big in the country music. Obviously, you can see how young they are. But this is on the Rebel label, and it's called Second Generation Bluegrass, and it's just really good bluegrass. Both of them are good on their stringed instruments, and their voices go well together. I love both of them as country artists, but they were really good back then as young bucks doing bluegrass with the old string bands and Bill Monroe and all those guys. So there's one bluegrass record that I've added. Next one I'd like to show is, all of these are recent reissues. First one is the Finding Wildflowers alternate takes that just came out last month. This is really good. I mean, it's got a ton of songs from the Wildflowers sessions with Tom Petty that weren't on his final takes, and it's on the gold vinyl, which is pretty sharp. Looks good with the cover. 16 songs on 2 LPs here, alternate versions of 16 songs, and there are some songs that are on here that didn't make the cut, alternate versions of ones that did make the cut. One reason I had to get it, Driving Down to Georgia, just a great song by Tom Petty, and they say you have to be raised in the South to understand that song, so that was a great addition. I also have the regular Wildflowers reissue that came out very beginning of this year. Next reissue I actually got this from my mom because she bought a audiophile version, but this is Derek and the Dominoes. This is a great song, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs. Great bluesy sound to this, obviously with Eric Clapton, and it's way better than I expected. I heard great things. Both of my brothers were like, "You don't have that yet?" And so I bought this from my mom and love it. Glad to add that one to my collection. Next one I got this from a trip to Cracker Barrel. No, I bought this online, but it is a Cracker Barrel release of Vince Gill's great, is this late 90s or early 2000s? Yeah, 1994 release, When Love Finds You. And there's some great songs on here. South Side of Dixie, Go Rest High on That Mountain. You also have Whenever You Come Around, which is one of his best songs in my opinion. What the Cowgirls Do is a good country song. When Love Finds You. Just a really good Vince Gill, who he doesn't have a ton of stuff on vinyl, so I was really, and he was one of the guys that I first started listening to when I was just a young teenager getting into country music. So love his voice and love his background in the country and southern rock as well. So Vince Gill. Next one I got is another Rhino reissue of Dire Straits, and this is their second album, Communique. Love it. Again, that bluesy sound. I was watching a video from the Jazz Shepherd yesterday, and I don't know, he didn't put it out yesterday, but he was talking about how all music really comes from that old blues, and how back in the day when they were first starting to play that kind of music, they didn't have any influences. I mean, that's their music, and it has grown into influencing every genre. Jazz for sure, country music for sure, bluegrass, rock, and it all comes from that real blues artistry. So very influential. So Dire Straits Communique, I really like it because it has that jazzy blues sound to it. Really good songs on there. Great reissues from Rhino. Start your ear off right. The last one I have, non-jazz, is a 90s rock song that a record that I liked back in high school. I had to grab it because it was on sale, and it's a pretty cool release with a good value, especially for what I paid for it. But this is Silverchair. They were kind of like a 90s grunge from Australia. Silverchair, Frog Stomp, Israel's Son is on here. Tomorrow, Pure Massacre, Suicidal Dreams was a good song. So there's this. It's a great, great cover. Some of y'all maybe not even heard them, so look them up. Kind of got that Nirvana / Metallica mix to them, and this release is on split colored vinyl with the different colored frogs on each label. So I had to pick that up before it went out of print, and before the value went up too much. So this is almost like a collector's edition. I do like the music, but it's not one I'm going to play a lot, especially with the family. They don't like the hard rock, but every once in a while I'm home alone, I'll rock out to it. Silverchair, Frog Stomp. Let's see here. Let's start with the non-blue note jazz. First one I got was an Acoustic Sounds order, and I showed a quick unboxing of this, but this is Masterpiece Ellington by Ellington, Duke Ellington and his orchestra. Just classic Duke Ellington. I didn't have any Duke Ellington in my collection, and I wanted to start with this one. Heard such good things. Reissued from Analog Productions on the Columbia 6i, and it is great. I mean, it's got that old school muted trumpet, little chatter in the background by Duke Ellington. Great piano play. Other instruments are on here are awesome. So just a small orchestra, Duke Ellington, and the quality of this pressing is unreal. Acoustic Sounds, Analog Productions does it again. Quality record pressings, does it again. Can't go wrong. $35, 33 1/3. Good pickup. And with that same order, I got Timeout Takes. The Dave Brubeck Quartet, Timeout Takes. This is, I'll read it straight from previously unreleased takes from the original 1959 sessions of Timeout. Take 5, Blue Rondo, Kathy's Waltz, and more. There is one song that wasn't put on the album that's on here, and then alternate takes of all the big songs on the record. Take 5 is done in a even more up-tempo style, and it's pretty good. Paul Desmond, really quick on his saxophone melody on that song, and Dave Brubeck on the piano. Just a great release to have in addition to the 1959 classic of Timeout. Next non-blue note I have, and this was a grail for me. It was one I bought from overseas, and it finally showed up. Joe Henderson on Milestone. Trying to get as many of these as I can, but they're very expensive and hard to find. This is The Elements, and it's Joe Henderson with Alice Coltrane, Michael White on the strings, which sounds awesome. Charlie Hayden. Just a great, I mean, it's an avant-garde free jazz sound to it, and it's called The Elements, and each song is one of the elements. So you got fire, air, earth, and water. So it's different than most of the jazz in my collection, but it's a change and an expansion in the genre that I needed. So Joe Henderson, so talented, special tone to his saxophone playing, and I was happy to add that. A milestone grail, baby. Joe Henderson, The Elements. All right, the last few I have are blue notes, all blue notes. I've got a DMM promo copy, so I guess one of the first pressed from that DMM reissue, and this is Art Blakey, A Night at the Birdland, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, A Night at the Birdland with Clifford Brown, Lou Donaldson, Horace Silver, Curly Russell, and this is volume 2. I already had volume 1, so I needed to get this. And I whenever I'm getting a place setter, and I'm fine if it's my forever copy, but obviously I would get a better one if I can. But whenever I can get a good affordable mid-80s DMM pressing, they usually do the job. Sound great on my system. So great to add that. I love hearing Clifford Brown and Lou Donaldson with Blakey way back. This was released in definitely in the 50s. Let's see what we got here. Why is this taking me so long? Clifford Brown died in 1956. I believe this is a 1954 live recording at a night at Birdland. So there you go. Another Blue Note in my collection. The next one I got was finally found a good price on the 80th anniversary release of Basra. Pete LaRocca, again, Joe Henderson. And this is getting into that more post-bop avant-garde style, and it's pretty great record right here. Love Pete LaRocca's style, and then but it's almost a Joe Henderson record because he has tons of outstanding solos on here. Great sounding 80th anniversary release as usual. So I was glad to add this to my collection as I'm on my Joe Henderson kick. And the last one to show today, and I'll bring this one out of the pack for you, is the most recent Tone Poet release. And this is One Flight Up. Dexter Gordon has Donald Berg, Kenny Drew, Niels Henning Orsted, and Art Taylor on the drums. So this is one of my favorite Blue Notes. Woo! There's your Tone Poet pop. Great picture right there of Dexter Gordon and the band. This record sounds as good as any Tone Poet that I have. I've played it 3 times after getting it late last week, and love it. And so I had I'll say again, of those DMMs, those mid-80s. That was my copy of this that I played all the time until now. The Tone Poet took its place, but it's still a great record, and I'll find something special to do with it. So, but this is going to get played a ton. I love the Tone Poets. And I also have the Andrew Hill release, first time on vinyl, Passing Ships. Supposed to deliver today, but Amazon a little bit delayed on that. So you're not going to see it in this video. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by, and continue to like and follow my videos, and I'll try to put a little bit more content out. And until next time, keep spinning that next play.